The hide-and-seek alone technique introduced in this video is considered a very dangerous necromancy in Japan. Although it can be easily reproduced with familiar objects, please be careful not to imitate it. It is 1 a.m., and 30-year-old Naoki is at home surfing the internet. His room is dimly lit, and his computer screen is the only source of light. In his small apartment, the air is heavy and tangled with every sigh he lets out. Naoki has no wife or children, and leads an ordinary, solitary life. Born and raised in this town, he graduated from college as he was, but was unable to find a job, so he works at a local convenience store. Everything in his daily life is the same, and he is bored with a repetitive routine. One day, Naoki found a website on the internet about urban legends and ghost stories. One of them, a ghost story called Hide and Seek Alone, intrigued him. This necromancy is a dangerous game known to everyone in Japan. Seeking a thrill and stimulation that he could not experience in his normal life, Naoki decided to try hide and seek alone. He carefully studied the procedure. The moon in the night sky casts a faint light and shadows on the room. The light shines into the room and casts a shadow on an old doll in Naoki's room. The doll had been given to him by his grandmother and had been left in a corner of the room for some time. Naoki's heart pulsed and his heartbeat increased his tension. He did not yet know that this day would change his life into a nightmarish horror. Naoki looked at his watch. Waiting for the scheduled start time of 3 a.m., Naoki went through the steps of hide and seek alone. Step 1. First, prepare the doll and remove all the cotton from inside the doll. Step 2. Place hard rice before cooking in the empty doll. Step 3. Cut your own fingernails, place them in the doll, and sew them together with red thread. At this point, hair or blood can be added to make the séance more powerful, but it increases the risk. It is said that the rice represents the internal organs and the red thread means blood vessels. This makes it possible to connect with the doll. His hands sweating, he clipped his nails and placed the nail fragments into the doll. His hand shook and he cut his fingertips a little. The drop of blood fell onto the rice in the doll. Step 4. Decide on a place to hide in advance and place a glass of salt water there. Hide and seek alone is a game in which you play hide and seek with a stuffed animal. Step 5. Name the dolls. Naoki thinks of a name and chooses the name Mio. This name will be the person he plays hide and seek with. Step 6. Fill the bucket in the bathroom with water. This is the preparation up to this point. Complete the previous steps so that the process can begin at 3 a.m. And the time is 3 a.m. Naoki starts the game. Step 7. He says 3 times to the doll, "The first demon is me," and submerges it in the bucket in the bathroom. The doll's whole body is immersed in the water, and he is anxious and excited to see it. Step 8. Turn off all the lights in the house and turn on only the TV. In this state, meditate and count for 10 seconds. There are no TV programs on at 3 a.m., only an inorganic sandstorm on the screen. Step 9. Take a knife or other cutting instrument and move to the bathroom. At this point, if the doll is still there, unchanged, the game can continue. He says doll's name, stabs the doll with the blade while telling that he has found it, and that the role of the demon will change. He moves to the bathroom. He is relieved to see the doll there unchanged. Then Naoki stabs the doll with a knife, saying, "Mio, I found it." The doll was stabbed in the bucket, and the little bit of air that remained leaked out with a small sound. He then told the doll 3 times, "Mio is the next demon," and hid in a place where he kept salt water. He hid in the closet of his room. The blue-white light of the TV screen dimly illuminated the room. Naoki's heart raced and his breathing became labored. The season is summer in Japan, and even at night it is hot and humid. The enclosed space in the closet becomes unusually hot. Naoki felt sweat dripping down his cheeks. It is said that one can experience a séance by hiding from here for at least 1 hour. The hide and seek alone must be completed within 2 hours by following the correct procedure. Naoki was not sure what was going to happen, and regretted starting the game because of the stifling atmosphere in the room, which did not feel like his own room. At that moment, he heard something fall from the bathroom. He wanted to stop playing hide and seek right now, but it had only been 15 minutes since the game started. To end it now would be a forbidden act that I must never do. Naoki waited patiently for time to pass under his breath, but then he noticed footsteps. Looking out through the closet door, he saw something walking down the hallway. Slowly a black shadow is moving down the hallway. It looks like a person, but it is too dark to see clearly. The black shadow slowly entered his room and stayed in the corner of the room. Naoki felt a gaze that he could not describe. He is being watched. Where are you? A voice echoed in the room that was supposed to be empty. Although he should never answer, Naoki reflexively looked at the gap in the door. Someone is looking at us. He was almost panicked with fear, but he could not be found. He meditated hard and waited for time to pass. How much time had passed? After a long period of silence that felt like infinity, Naoki checked his watch. The time was 4:30. At least an hour had passed since he had to play hide and seek. Naoki took a sip of salt water. The rule of this hide and seek alone is that the spirits cannot see you while you have a mouthful of salt water in your mouth. To end the hide and seek game, the player must spray the salt water in his mouth at the doll in the bathroom and declare that the doll has lost the game. With salt water in my mouth, it opens the closet door. There was a strange man standing upright and staring into the closet. He whispered something in an inaudible voice. Where are you? 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 Their eyes meet with a strange man. Naoki stiffens, afraid that he is being watched. Naoki loses track of time and stiffens at the sight of the eyes that seem to be sucking him in. Suddenly he remembers that he has to finish within 2 hours. He held back the salt water leaking out of his mouth and headed for the bathroom. When he returned to the bathroom, the doll was not there. Naoki felt cold sweat running down his neck. He began to search the whole house. He suppressed his impatience and moved slowly so as not to make a sound with his footsteps. Naoki does not know where Mio is. All he hears is his own breathing and the beating of his heart. At last, Naoki finds the doll in the living room. She is sitting on the sofa. Naoki gasps at the sight of her. He wanted to end it here. But he made a mistake in the last step. The time was 5:07 a.m. It was past 2 hours. The moment he looked at the clock, a chill ran down his spine. The air became damp and cold, and it became difficult to breathe. Driven by fear, he returns Mio to the bathroom. However, his mind is so confused by fear that he cannot remember the procedure. Naoki thinks frantically, but his impatience gets the better of him. He puts Mio back in the bath bucket and sprays her mouth with salt water. I win. I win. I win. He declared victory to Mio 3 times. But I felt a twinge of regret for passing the time. An eerie feeling continues to haunt the house. He is tormented by a fear he has never felt before. From that day on, it seemed as if there was always a black shadow in his house. Then, Naoki's fate came to a dark and unexpected end. It was sudden. After performing hide and seek by himself, he could not sleep at night at all. Whenever I close my eyes, I hear that voice in my ear. Where are you? 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 Naoki, sleep deprived, was on his way home from work at the convenience store when he wandered out into the driveway as if someone was pulling him along. In the midst of the dire situation, the stranger in the room stood quietly by his side. Naoki heard the word surely in his ear at the last moment. I found.